Hey everybody, Agent Fluffy here, and welcome to my fanfic read of Reharmonization Ponies. This time, we're going to do Reharmonized Rainbow -2 True Healing. So, this is by Alex Warlorn, and I hope you enjoy.
Oh, it's you guys again. Oh, whatever. For 3.5 weeks, I've fallen flood weights chained all around me that only I can see. Jeez, since when do I wax philosophy? This is me, Rainbow Dash. I'm brazen, fast, and relentless, and proud of it. Since when do I waste time thinking about this deep inner meaning junk? Maybe that will stop too once I stop feeling like Rarity chained me as home. No, you idiots! Not the literal stupid rock. I mean, I've been feeling freaking heavy since before we beat Discord. Look, I put on a show for my friends. After I stabbed it in the back to save a home, I could finally accept it as my home again. Discord decided it was a great idea to post a giant version of my mug on a giant floating screen for all Cloudsteel to see, followed by telling every Pixis in that loud, obnoxious voice of his that I say Cloudsteel by doing the rest of Equestria. I used to have dreams of having my face up for every pony you see and being the center of attention. Now they're all nightmares. The donkey let the hisses and boots from the ponies I just saved go on long enough for it to hurt worse than betraying my friends or turning them as stalkers as everyone in Ponyville. So I flew back to my friends, saw they were now as insane as everyone in Cloudsteel, and ran again. Then my friends showed up near my front door, except they're all themselves again. And I get this stage show of my life, giving my friends the merry chase of their lives. Playing the mad pony right up until Twilight removed Discord's tape from me. Acceptor spelled into what I wanted it to from the start. It didn't remove the memories of me betraying my friends and Discord turning Cloudsteel into a madhouse. So we saved the world, and I didn't tell any of my friends what I did. And every Pegasus in Cloudsteel either doesn't remember or passes it off as an illusion by Discord or delusion they had while they were crazy. After all, I saved the Wonderbolts. I won Year's Best Young Flyer. I helped save the world. There's no way what they remember about me betraying the Equestria to protect Cloudsteel could be real. Nobody notices me acting or feeling guilty. Not when all the ponies are a little less messed up, helping the ponies are a lot more messed up, trying to figure themselves out after Discord did whatever he happened to feel like doing to them. I'd die for my friends if I had to. I'm more willing to live for them too. I guess that's why the element of loyalty still accepted me. But then Scootaloo had to come and crib my whole feeling horrible but don't tell anyone style and tell me how she was beating herself up for something she couldn't have helped anyway. So I told her she needed to start by forgiving herself. Then I realized what I just said and felt like I'd just given myself a good kick in the flanks. I let her sleep alongside me like a foal does with her mama. It was the least I could do when we were both the same kind of dumbbell. She's still there when I wake up. I was happy I couldn't remember my dreams. I opened my mouth to tell her she's going to be late for school, but remember that school was cancelled. And that made me remember. When the Cutie Mark Crusaders were together at one of our places, after the close call with Fluttershy babysitting them, we decided to experiment with Mary, Fluttershy, and me being there together to keep them out of trouble. Though I didn't rumble on why I had to keep an eye on the filly who wasn't even related to me. And I remember Fluttershy and Mary chatting away as girly girls always will. I gotta agree with Spike on that one. I can't stand the stuff. And then they mentioned how Scootaloo didn't even start attending Applebloom school until after they formed the Cutie Mark Crusaders. I really don't like doing the whole thinking thing. Action is way more my style, my strong point. But I wonder where Scootaloo went to school before Applebloom. Surely school is the only one for fillies their age in Ponyville. Otherwise, spoiled brats like Diamond, Tiara, and Silverspoon would have never attended. This was making my brain hurt as I pushed it aside. Figuring she made the fridge anyway when she woke up, I decided to make breakfast of her. Not that I dare much more than milk and Wonder Flakes. My teacher from my old mandatory cooking class had said it was supposed to be impossible to set cloud appliances on fire, but I somehow managed. And when that time I tried to cook ended with Twilight delusional from fever, I couldn't figure out that me making anything more complex than a daisy sandwich was the forbidden zone. When Skulu woke up, she didn't tell me what her dreams were, but she didn't look like she had nightmares. Good morning, Rainbow Dash. Good morning, Squirt. Thanks for letting me sleep here last night. No problem. But seriously, kiddo, remember what I said last night? I felt myself twist a bit inside as I remembered. Skulu just nodded, a slight down look on her face suddenly. Okay, so maybe it takes more than one night pet talk for a filly to work her way through the skunk. Got it. Maybe Shy or Twilight could do a better job. But they're not here to have Pipe wants them to know. She can tell them on her own. We ate in silence. When the topic wasn't about me or Wonderbolts, I began to really begin to trip up on what to say. Finally, I knelt down so I was eye level with Skulu. Kids, Scoots, listen. Apple Bloom, Sweetie, they're hurting right now. Same with every pony in Ponyville. They might have their families, but that doesn't mean they don't need their friends too. I think you might be the only pony in Ponyville Discord didn't drive crazy or twist about. I guess it makes it a little... I cut myself off or accidentally defeated my own argument, and said something about being the only sane one, made Skulu's situation's worse. It definitely didn't do Twilight any favors when Discord drove every pony else crazy except her. That makes you one of the best ponies to help. Their families are hurting too. Be there for them. Those fillies are gonna need a shoulder to cry on, someone who can listen. Coming from me, of course, Scoots held on to every word, even if I didn't know how much she got. Scoots nodded like a puppy and pressed herself against me. That made me stiffen. I had no clue what I was supposed to be feeling. You got it, Rainbow Dash. I will. I promise. She made the beeline for the door to begin her divine mission. Then she meekly trotted back in and looked at me, blushing bright red under her coat. Can you get me right down? I actually sighed instead of groaned. A Pegasus filly who can't fly yet. I can understand how frustrating that had to be for her. But I wanted to focus on my own dreams. And she still followed me over a cliff if I needed her to. I wonder if, when I'm old and gray and living in my giant mansion surrounded by my memorabilia as the greatest Wonderbolt in history, Scoots will be the next element of loyalty. Scoots didn't even try to hide how happy she was that I was giving her a Rainbow Dash exclusive ride. I could tell she wanted the ride to last longer than just a trip down to the ground. At least I stopped her from getting her skateboard so we didn't have to do a round trip. I managed to squeeze out one last drop before she scooted along. And Squirt? Yes, Rainbow Dash? Tell them what happened. Tell them how you feel. I promise, if they're really your friends, they'll forgive you. Where the Squares done anything wrong wasn't the point. The point was that she thought she did something wrong, and she needed to hear her friends say she was forgiven. Yeah, first-hand experience, should practice when I preach, blah blah. Scoots looked at me with fear and uncertainty, flickering across her eyes before her hero worship of me sealed the deal. I promise, Rainbow Dash, I promise! She saluted and was off like a shot. That was roughly 3 weeks ago, and the Kingdom Crusaders are still together in as thick as thieves, so I guess things weren't good for her. I told myself I'd do the same. Then I told myself I'd only confess with all of us together. Then I told myself I need to figure out exactly what I was going to say. Then I told myself I had a bunch of things I needed to do first. Then I told myself I was too tired to do it. Then I told myself everyone had bigger problems than mine, and I couldn't wait on telling them when I helped them with theirs. Then I figured I'd simply wait until everyone wasn't busy. And before I could come up with another excuse, Applejack, using that thrice-cursed long-lived cloud-walking spell of Twilight's and some borrowed transport, paid me a visit like she was apparently doing with most Ponyville that day. She told me she knew. that she had known since her visit to Princess Celestia. I was terrified knowing that the princess knew and figured my just desserts were just around the corner. AJ assured me that Celestia hadn't even batted an eyelash and not one word about punishment. AJ said the important thing was that AJ forgave me, and that AJ knew every pony else was going to as well. Okay, so we needed only 4 ponies together at the same time to spill my guts out. I honestly wonder if I tried to tell anyone on a Cloudsdale if they believed me or even let me confess. Equestrian needs heroes right now to look up after Discord tore the place apart, and Cloudsdale couldn't afford to have one of its 2 natives who had helped save the world be cut down to life size. Maybe that was still my ego talking. I don't care. The squirt must have realized something was up with me. Don't ask me how. Maybe she got scoot sense or something. Maybe I just said something in my sleep that night to stay with me. I don't know. Because she went and found a fan club in my honor. Me! I always wanted one. I figured I had 5 by the time I was old and I was now, and I'd already be a Wonderbolt. She even got Snips and Snails and fan codes of that ugly nag Trixie to realize who the real pony it should be worshipping was. Of course, I did some blind nudging in how Scoots managed things once I caught wind of her brilliant idea. Yeah, my goals are still with me, but it felt good to have one of my fantasies, check marks finally fulfilled. Yes, and it gave me something else in my mind at last. I felt like I was me again. I could just bury that ugly tractor in the ground and build a house on top of it, and move into the house. Oi! Sometimes I think I hang out too much with Pinky. Then things got even better. Ponies repeatedly suddenly need their lives being saved, and who happened to be nearby to help other than Rainbow Dash? The damage from Discord may have been magically undone, but the ruin of the Paris Sprites and Ursa Minor last year had cost Ponyville's last year's, this year's, and all next year's maintenance budget. And shoddy repair jobs were finally coming back to bite ponies in the rear. It was great. I was there to help everyone. They called me a hero. On my own. Ponyville loved me as much as Cloudsdale. More so. Oh, sure. Right. The accidents themselves were bad, but what did it matter? I was there to save the day. End of story. I was everyone's favorite hero and made sure everyone knew it. And I didn't have to think about that black-gray feeling that pit in my stomach at all. Then, when another chance for a hero time came round, I took an itty-bitty little amount of time signing autographs and getting my picture taken before going out to rescue the poor pony in the falling balloon. I had everything timed perfectly, I swear! I'm the pony who can clear a sky in 10 seconds flat, remember? No way anything could go wrong. Then this newcomer shows up and steals my rescue and doesn't even stop to give me praise or nothing. Huh? You heard all this already? Oh, sorry. The point was I was finally here I wanted to be. And then this pony came along like a thief and stole it! Okay, maybe I've been able to get most of these rescues and haven't been talk first, rescue second. But the hero's gotta hold up her motif, right? That's the incident with the dam. And she saved me! Ugh! Then it went bonkers like you read and tried to make anything into Hero Jag. And points were beginning to think I was just being an attention hog. Not that it could be right or anything. And like the poets say, I was right back where I began. Miserable. And Scoots showed. Scoots, my one true fan, to invite me to Mayor Duell's Parade of Honor and Ponyville's newest hero. Yes, I was bummed out. Then it hit me. And besides thinking this was my chance to ruin her dark and mysterious motif, it was... Ha! I knew she was in it for praise. So what if I organized all my events and this one was done for her, not by her? Yeah, you know what happened next. Ambush, chase scenes, surprises, surprises. All my friends were Mayor Duell. I still don't know if Pinkie Pie let me catch her or not. I mean, with that ESP, that is as crazy and unpredictable as her. Real heroes don't brag. AJ winked at me. Lesson learned. Don't act like Trixie and think you're the queen of the world. Letters to Celestia. I still don't know if Mayor was in on this whole thing or not. Kinda weird she was able to arrange a parade for a pony who never stayed in one place for long. No pony knew anything about, and that Mare-de-Well already had that Emerald cape even before the mayor came up with their name on the spot. Then we all headed back to the parade. The plan was for Mare-de-Well to gracefully bow out of Ponyville, having served her purpose. What? You think Pinkie Pie was going to waste the party? But we had all forgotten one thing. The lady with the potted plant nearly fell on Pinkie Pie. That saved me with 3 unmasked Mare-de-Wells, and heard the majority of our conversation. Twilight figured she'd think we were just cosplaying as her, or couldn't hear a word we said from her upstairs window. Twilight isn't always right, and gossip is the one thing that can travel faster than me. Maybe. Ponies were confused and shocked that their hero was in fact 3 ponies. Namely, ponies were more interested in thanking their hero face to face than moaning about her being more than one person, including one filly who said she wanted to be the superhero when she grew up. This is Ponyville, people. They freak out easy peasy and will get caught up in just about anything, but they're all whimsical and understanding at heart. Considering they didn't lynch Twilight for making the Parasprite problem worse, I think it's proof of that. We all had smiles, we all had laughs, and I got to share a place on a parade float with the Mare-de-Wells. I'm worried about maybe by the time this spotlight being over, someone should get into the history books. Pinkie Pie laughed. Silly Philly, you're already in history books, see? Pinkie Pie took a butt from fucking nowhere on world records in sports stunts, and there I was under the so-called impossible Sonic Rainbow. The first woman to do it in public not once, but twice. Okay, maybe I was a tiny bit egocentric on the whole not being remembered thing. Once all of the confetti's been thrown, however, I cornered AJ, the one pony who knew my secret. I made sure this happened in private, in my place behind locked doors and closed windows. Why, AJ? Why couldn't you just let me take in the praise? The ponies wanted to cheer me on. Couldn't you just let them have their hero? I was finally able to bury all the crud I was carrying.
Things you bury tend to take root, Hugh. We didn't do this to show you up, and giving you an example of how a hero was supposed to be was why we stuck to this here plan.
Okay, then what, pray tell? AJ took in a deep breath and said sadly,
Sorry, Rainbow Dash.
Then her face got stern and hard so fast it made me choke.
We didn't mind you being a hero. We didn't mind you acting like, well, you, when ponies thanked you for saving the day. What we did mind was you beginning to treat it like a show rather than saving lives. Half the reason we invented Mare-de-Well was to save your butt. If Pinkie hadn't stepped in, how many those construction workers do you think would have gone out one piece? Or not all? It's why not having repaired the damn one she had. What do you think ponies would have thought of you when ponies were flooded? Ponies would have hated your guts, and not you survived getting caught in the flood at all. But they were too busy praising Mare-de-Well to notice you were screwing up due to your stupid ego, and badly. The other half was to get through your thick head that being a hero. Look, you were beginning to treat the plays like it was more important than what you were being praised for.
I wouldn't have started grandstanding more if Mare-de-Well hadn't shown up.
Rainbow, your tried and true friend to make each day of my life just a little bit brighter. And it would be a dark day for all of us if you weren't here. But that's horse apples. You were tying things down to the last possible moment to get more autographs in for saving lives. That is not a hero, Rainbow. Not at all. You crossed the line there, Rainbow Dash. Truth is, most of us thought this here plan was over top even after we put it together. And when you did that, when the balloon fell, we knew we had to step in before the law of averages and your ego got some pony killed. We did this to save you, not take you down a peg.
You could have talked to me. AJ's face didn't soften.
We did. You didn't listen.
Oh, right.
Rainbow Dash, I'd sooner buck my own teeth out than to hurt your feelings. But you don't get excuses for leaving ponies in mortal danger longer just so you can blab who's there to save them.
AJ was only nose to nose with me, and I felt so small mole, AJ could have stepped on me with one hoof. And AJ looked at me, almost pleading.
So, please understand, we did this to help you, and stop hiding it, please.
At the parade, all of them together. Isn't that what I wanted? Well, I didn't want to spoil the celebration, right? Right. I suddenly took AJ back to ground level. I was surprised by my fan club president waiting below my house when I got back. Squirt? Hi, Rainbow Dash. I didn't expect things to go crazy when he asked you to join the Merry-Go-Round at the parade. Huh? What? Join? That's the whole reason I wanted you here. I thought you and Merry-Go-Round could be a question's finest, like Super Stallion and Batmare. I guess you already were. The Pipsqueak said, sounding embarrassed. Front of a Pegasus. She never left me. She was always thinking of me. She never left me. That whole time, she was still on my side. She never left me. I managed to smile. Yeah, maybe we are. Sure remember that lesson about not thinking the worst of your friends. Being the hero wasn't what mattered. Helping ponies who had their faith in me is what mattered. What matters is my friends. And if they needed rescuing, you knew I was gonna be there. So when Pinkie Pie threw away sleeping like it was a hobby, put herself on a perpetual caffeine high, just trying to keep partying with anyone who's happened to walk in through the door, and if you didn't, I joined in the conspiracy to get her some sleep, whether she wanted it or not. After we cut off the immediate problem at source and Pinkie Pie finally burned herself out, Fluttershy chooses to take care of her for a bit. I tell Twilight I really need to speak to her, but Twilight tells me she's needed a Hoofington 2 weeks ago and doesn't give me time to tell her short of just shouting out my confession, and you had no idea how close I was to just doing that. So I fall back on waiting to tell all my friends at once. Twilight said she had no idea how long she'd be gone. Could be days, could be weeks. She was back the next day, but Pinkie Pie was still catching up on going 3 weeks with effectively no sleep. I visited her at least twice a day to keep tabs on her. Fluttershy was there, going over a bunch of photo albums whenever I visited Pinkie Pie. She also asked me a really weird question. Rainbow Dash, do you believe we can be tough, self-assured, and independent without being mean to others? I tried to keep my time looking at her confused and minimal before I said, like, duh! Of course you can, Fluttershy. Being mean means you're not sure of yourself. Means you don't think you're as tough as you want others to think you are, and need others to feel big. I say being mean means you're less of those things, I said proudly, thinking that first cut lizard tricksing those punks back at flat school. Fluttershy's body language changed. Her stance was defensive, rigid, reminds me a bit of the gala incident almost. She looked angry and hurt at me for about 1 moment, just long enough for the image to get burned into my brain. Then her body was a picture of a delicate flower on a warm spring day swinging in a gentle breeze. In other words, Fluttershy. Thank you, Rainbow Dash. That's something very important I think some people need to hear. I was so weirded out by that. I made an excuse to leave and tried my best not to think about it. Finally, on almost the 4th day after we got Pinkie Pie to sleep, Fluttershy was rapping like mad on my door as best you can on the clouds, and shouted the moment I opened it, Pinkie Pie's awake! Of course, I was at Sure Cute Corner before Fluttershy could give me details. Mr. Cake, however, proved to be a surprisingly effective barrier against me, saying his foster child for ponying after a pastry, while his wife helped Pinkie get her bearings after nearly 4 days of Pinkie not using her muscles. He promised Pinkie would come down to see us all when the others arrived. So now I'm standing here waiting in Sure Cute Corner. I finally had enough. I was going to steal Pinkie Pie's moment and draw all the attention to me and get my stupid confession over with before it finished eating me from the inside. Fluttershy caught up first and looked for a moment at odd body language she was going to say was rude to ditch her. But her mood and expression brightened in an instant and said, Hello, Rainbow. Did you see Pinkie yet? Mr. Cake says he doesn't want Pinkie to meet us one by one. He thinks it would be better for her to meet us all together at once. But how does that make sense? Fluttershy asked in her innocent voice. Having a lot of us together may trigger another party, and I am the first person she saw when she woke up. And it's likely to take a lot less energy for her to interact with just one at a time, then all at once.
I'm standing 7 feet from you, you know, Mr. K said in a surprisingly polite voice. And of course you're allowed to go up to Fluttershy. And you must know, I believe Honey just wants to spend as much time as possible with Pinkie first, and doesn't want to keep getting interrupted by you coming in to say it one by one. No offense, but what Honey wants, I'm not about to stand in the way of.
Fluttershy,
It's okay.
I kind of prefer it that way too. I got a few things I've been meaning to say to Pinkie and everyone too. Alright, I understand, Rainbow. Fluttershy smiled and nodded. Isn't it better to have friends who care and think about you than staying isolated by your lonesome? Isn't that right, Rainbow? Right. I was kind of thrown off by Fluttershy's strange course change in the conversation. So, Rainbow, what changed your mind about being a lone pony? Fluttershy asked and looked at me with those big innocent eyes of hers. I never knew Fluttershy to ask those sort of questions out of the blue, but I couldn't bring myself not to answer under those eyes. Well, I did have friends before. Remember Gilda? And I did have you, Fluttershy. I guess I couldn't stand seeing those jocks pick on someone who didn't even want to fight back. And you showed how much you cared about me by noticing how I fell off, or deciding the person you were racing for was more important than the race itself, and came looking for me when you noticed I fell, and asking me what happened when you saw me when you found out I fell. I startled, taken completely off guard. Mr. K just witnessed all this. Fluttershy's tone held a faux sultriness to it, and she looked at me trying a little bit closer to me, almost playfully. I felt like she had hooked me in the gut and sweat began to mat my knee. Fluttershy, that was a long time ago. I know I was a bonehead filly. How do you think I ended up best friends with Gilda? I know I didn't deserve your friendship back then, but you had no idea how happy I was that you accepted me as one. I was glad when we both ended up in Ponyville, even if I didn't show it. Fluttershy then took it a couple steps back and sat on her haunches and looked at me bright-eyed and happily. It's okay, Rainbow. I never blamed you anyway. If anything, I never thanked you. Even before I knew that Bane that scared the animals was your sonic rainbow, that entire accident was the whole reason I realized my cutie mark. And I was just happy that you got yours too. And even if I did blame you, something awful did almost happen, but it didn't. And we both realized our cutie marks for it, and you learned from it, and are sorry for that. That's all I can really ask from you this long after the fact. I felt like I've been holding my breath as Fluttershy broke off her proximity. But Dashy, she said, you didn't answer the question. It's okay if you don't want to. I understand. There are things I don't want to talk about either. But what was it that made you want to be friends with others? Really just glad that Fluttershy wasn't, I don't know what anymore. I spilled the beans faster than Pinkie Pie can eat cake. I think it was Ponyville. All the ponies are just so open. It was just nice seeing you here too. You just fit so well here. I think part of me wants to fit that well too. Just like I want to fit in with the Wonderbolts. Oh, Rainbow Dash wants to fit in? I thought you wanted to always be unique, always stand up from the crowd. I thought you hate fitting in. Fluttershy asked, her voice taking on a slight tone and her body took on a slight liquid state again. I began to sweat. Okay, bad choice of words maybe. I blocked out how I could have killed you. I just remember standing up for you. And it felt good standing up for someone else, even though I didn't want to admit it. And I do want to fit in with the Wonderbolts, because they're everything I want for myself. And I meant it. Ponyville is just accepting. Even for a Pegasus who doesn't fly and another who's lazy but claims to be the best. Fluttershy smiled warmly as her pose became dainty but dignified. So, it felt good to stand up for others? It felt good to think about someone other than yourself? Even if you're a little afraid of saying so? Tension was pulled taut in the air, even if I wasn't sure where it was coming from. Fluttershy just kept looking at me with a trait of her element. I breathed out. Yes. Fluttershy nuzzled me. Thank you, Rainbow. I think I'll go help Pinkie Pie now. That was a very good lesson. She trotted a few steps past me, then sat turning her head and looking me in the eyes. And I'm very sorry if anything I said scared or hurt you. Sometimes to pull out a thorn, it's going to hurt a little, but it's better than letting it fester, and you're better for it after. The actual cruel thing for somebody to do would be to let the infection worsen rather than force it to surface. For less than a moment, I swear she was grinding her teeth before there was a triumphant smile on the crying-hearted face. I hope you don't think I'm bad for that. Oh, no. It's okay, I said quickly. Fluttershy just smiled and fluttered up the stairs past Mr. Cake.
What was that about? I don't think I've ever seen that girl act that way before.
I wish I knew, I said honestly. I whispered, "Thanks, Fluttershy."
I waited a couple minutes, turning down an offer for refreshments.
I was surprised when Twilight, Applejack, and Mary all showed up exactly at the same time. "Hey guys," I said simply, echoing more or less what his dad was pretending to be discoordinated pawn.
"Where's Pinkie Pie?" AJ asked first.
I'll
go fetch her, ladies," Mr. Cake said, trotting upstairs.
"Fluttershy's already with her," I said. "So Fluttershy told you too?"
AJ answered, "Actually, Spock did. We were checking on Twilight's patient when they came running in."
"So, how does he or she look?"
"She hadn't gotten worse," Twilight said, most even emotion space I've ever seen her speak with.
"Howdy-ho! The pipe with the pink has returned! And now it's all cherry!" All of us turned at once to see Pinkie Pie with Fluttershy helping her down the stairs, the kids of course behind them. "Hey guys!" Pinkie Pie grinned. "Great to see you all here! You know what this calls for? A party!" We all took in a breath. "Kidding!" She laughed a split second before we and the cakes could all dogpile her. "I think I kind of wore out at parties right now. Plenty of little ponies need hugs more than confetti right now," she said in a perfectly pleasant voice.
"You 7 ponies jaw-dropping all at the same time, making look like a bunch of hit the donkey win a prize targets at the carnival."
Pinkie Pie, the pony who needed a reason not to party more than a reason to party, calmly and meekly admitting she might have overdone the parties. Rarely did one of her stupid fake things. Fluttershy just smiled at Pinkie. I was at Pinkie Pie's side in this thing with a 4 legs to her forehead. "Pinkie, are you feeling okay? Are you sick? Do you have a fever? Did a parasite infect your brain?" Pinkie firmly but gently moved my foreleg from her forehead. "Yes, I am, silly. I never felt better. And no, she said, just smiling at me, looking at those big blue eyes. Pinkie?" Twilight butted in. "Are you sure you're fine? I mean, you don't want to throw a party?" Pinkie Pie trotted up to her and said, keeping her eyes on the purple bookworm, "Twilight, how boring would it be if you had a book that went on forever and you could never finish? Forever!" I can almost see the gears in Twilight's brain begin to jam. That is... It's the same thing with parties! If a party went on forever, we could never get the group hug at the end. And having a party for every last little thing, no matter how little, is like a party that goes on forever, right? No, wait. I still can't use my brain working this way. Oh, right. Okay. Twilight, parties are supposed to be something special, right? I expected Pinkie to speak in slow motion with that last part, like you do when trying to talk to someone who doesn't know your language. Yes, I'm fairly certain, though my experience was extremely limited until I met you, Twilight said in the typical brain pony mood. Okay, so I kept having parties for everything, and how are they special? They become part of a routine. It's not being something surprising and being expected. When I'm first taken in by my second family, Pinkie Pie looks at the cake lovingly, I made a total Pinkie Pie out of myself and all the sweets and treats since I barely got anything like that ever on the rock farm. I ended up like a little porcupine until we finally put the hooves down. You think I eat a lot of sweets now? You should have seen me then. I finally understand it's the same thing. Having parties all the time for everything makes a party stop being special. And a party that isn't special loses the parties. What makes parties so much fun? A break from routine. Pinkie hugged Mary, AJ, Twilight all at once. It's wonderful! There's so many things I could see before. I'm still trying to figure some of them out. It's like there's a whole world around me I couldn't see before. Pinkie Pie, Twilight wondered in astonishment.
Your taxes.
Pinky looked at Twilight confused. What do my taxes now to do with any of this? Twilight backtracked. Never mind. Okay, sure, whatever. Pinkie Pie smiled and nodded. But guys, it's so great! It's like I bought out a cake that I didn't know I was in! She then turned to me in Fluttershy. I saw her eyes actually mist up. She wasn't sad. It's like I'm a me, that's all me! Fluttershy looked rather surprised at her more than any of us. Don't ask me why. Personally, I'm completely and totally lost. Dearie, said Miss Cake, reminding everyone else she and her husband were part of the furniture. She put her hoof on Pinkie Pie's shoulder. I know you've been resting a long time. I think you need to get your strength back before doing anything exciting. Maybe you should come back upstairs and lay down for a bit.
I think maybe going outside and being cooped up in the room for 3 days plus ought to do her good, said Mr. Cake to his wife. And I'm thinking to be plenty of time for that later. I think there's no time like the present. I think you shouldn't risk yourself outside yet. It's not like you're going mountain climbing, right, dearie?
Pinkie Pie startled as those who decided our fate were actually asking our opinion on the matter. I really want to go out and see everything. It's like I'm seeing all for the first time again. And I really want to spend more time with my friends. I promise I won't throw another party until I got the kinks worked out. Miss Cake said, Dear, it's not just that. You're acting a little strange and we're worried about you. A little strange? Normally I act really strange, so I guess me acting a little more normal would be strange, since that all matters in perspective. No, Mr. Cake looked worried too. To be honest, I was worried a while back and now I'm a little scared. Pinkie, are you sure you're fine? Pinkie Pie nuzzled him, and then said in the most calm and polite and kind voice she could while smiling. I feel like I've been sick for a long time, and I'm finally well. I promise I'm still Pinkie. I'm just all me now. I promised. She looked at each of us in turn. Pinkie Pie still loves to prank, still loves to have fun, and still loves to see others happy. Still loves to party, and still loves her candy. And I still know how the question is made. You see, it all started with this little girl named Lauren Phelps in the 80s. Pinkie Pie, do you have any idea how this happened? So I asked, though I felt so relieved in Pinkie Pie, I know still being there. Oh, that's easy. I was sleeping. Pinkie and Pinkie and Mina had a long overdue talk. But Pinkie didn't want to talk to Pinkie and Mina because it was Pinkie and Mina started all be so sad and so Pinkie could always be happy. The argument caused another Pinkie to be born and his job was to be always angry because Pinkie didn't want to feel angry at discord at Pinkie and Mina. This new angry Pinkie, however, wanted to eat up the rest of me, and so Pinkie and Pinkie and Mina had to finally kiss and make up to take her back. So finally all of me. We all just stared. We had to be breaking the world record at this point. I didn't believe what I just heard. Pinkie Pie, have you gone crazy?
Actually, said AJ of all ponies, I think she might now be saner than most of us here.
AJ looked right into Pinkie Pie's eyes. Pinkie Pie didn't flinch, shrink, or shudder. Okay, that's rather normal, my best friend, but Pinkie wasn't treating it like a random staring contest. She just kept looking back. AJ then looked at all of us.
Gals, what you're saying is true. All of it.
And how would you know? I asked right at her.
I know,
said AJ with finality. Since when are you a walking lie detector?
I ain't detecting no lies. I say what she's saying is truth. And I know truth well enough to recognize it up close and personal.
After saving the world, a tiny bit of mystique has built up around us in Ponyville, where elements were had that have become easier for any pony to find out. The way the cakes in protest suggested either they knew AJ's element or the bit they overwhelmed their strangest tolerance. Being the element of honesty, none of us were really sure how to counter what AJ said. Twilight just lifted the floor for a bit. I could almost hear the gears turning in that big brain of hers. Twilight took a deep breath and said, Pinkie Pie, as soon as you're feeling up to it, I want you to tell me every detail of what you remember about your experience. It might be able to help someone. Pinkie Pie hopped up and down. Okie dokie dokie! Okay, after that we were all convinced this was still Pinkie Pie. I think we've all forgotten something very important, Fluttershy said suddenly. She hugged Pinkie Pie, meaning this. Pinkie, I'm so happy that you're well. The Harmony Squad and the Cakes didn't even have to look. at each other as they quickly followed Fluttershy's example. She was right. There was something important that we all forgotten. We all held that hug for over a minute, none of us wanting to say anything to ruin the moment. I didn't really get what was going on, but apparently Pinkie was back and better than ever.
Don't y'all have something you need to say too, Q?
AJ said, breaking me out of my hug zen state.
Eh? Isn't there something you've been meaning to say for a good long while now, but you haven't had a chance to?
I began to sweat. My omission had been completely forgotten. This is Pinkie Pie moment. So really, oh, you got something important to say, Dash? I don't mind. Tell me, we're all friends here. Really, Pinkie,
I think there's been a problem for a while, AJ said.
Actually, I've been thinking a lot more than normal. Trust me, and it hasn't been pleasant.
Pinkie Pie chirped.
Well, let's go for that good old-fashioned Rainbow Dash action. Tell us. You have something in your mind, dear. There's no shame in sharing. Rarity added her 2 bits.
Now it's been brought up, it would be rather awkward to go on like it never happened.
The purple nerd interjected.
It's alright, Rainbow. Dash, just let it out.
Huh. Fluttershy said in a low, comforting tone. Okay, but it's a little private.
I looked at the cakes who looked uncomfortable.
Mr. and Mrs. Cake, I really hate to say this, but can you please, just for a little bit?
Twilight Sparkle, bless her soul, practically pleaded with Pinkie Pie's foster parents to give us a little alone time. No small amount of reluctance or hesitation, the cakes left to the next room. I admit it was kind of stupid for me to do my big-time confession right there in the cute corner common room, but I knew I was going to lose my nerve again if I accepted any more delays. My friends gathered around me, Pinkie Pie on my right, Applejack on my left, Fluttershy right across from me. Let it out, Q. I promise, they aren't going to hate you.
AJ said reassuringly, putting a hoof next to mine. I let my head down, and I forced up to look at them. It felt so heavy. Guys, in the hedge maze, Discord showed me Cloudsdale crumbling. He said I could either go save it and abandon you, or let Cloudsdale fall apart and stay with you. Rarity spoke up. We knew, dear. It excluded you under Discord's guess the same as all of us. Otherwise, you would remember the pigs I could fly, and had little to fear. My eyes narrowed, and the Pegasi who had a wing broken in the hospital, or foes who were too young to use their wings yet? Rarity was silenced instantly. Well, Twilight said off her hoof, it was all a lie anyway, and Discord warped your thinking the same with all of us. So there's nothing to be ashamed of, Dash. That's not the whole truth, though, I confessed. What? Twilight asked. I got to Cloudsdale! I shouted, not caring to put me outside or not anymore. Discord congratulated me on getting there. Then he told everyone right there that I saw Equestria in the back to save them. They all nearly hate me. Then Discord made them all as insane as everyone in Ponyville while I stood there begging him to stop. Me, Rainbow Dash, begging! And I saw and heard you guys when I left the maze. I knew what would happen. I figured we'd win anyway, like we always do. After Discord let Cloudsdale saying it was all for me, I tried to find you guys. And I saw you were already as nuts as everyone else, so you just blew away again. I ran away. When I spotted you guys were yourselves again, I played a part. Guys, I faked being delusional. I got the idea from Ruby's big rock. I didn't want you all to hate me. You guys are best friends I ever had. I didn't want to lose that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. My entire body was shaking. It was like pulling out a jagged dagger. You're sane? Rarity spoke frighteningly calm. That you delayed the world being sane, Discord being sealed, dragged me and Pinkie Pie across the sky, forced us to hold you down like a mad pony because you're faking it? I nearly cowered, instead of just waiting for Rarity's hateful blow. None came. Instead, she just looked at me in the face, nose to nose. How could you? Didn't you trust us? Didn't you believe in us? didn't you know that we all went through the same thing? Discords are all rainbow. Have you looked around Ponyville lately? Do you think you're the only one who was hurting?
Rarity,
AJ said, coming to my defense. Not sure how I feel about that.
I'm the element of honesty, and I forgave her already for effectively lying through her teeth.
You knew? Rarity asked, stunned.
I know about it since I visited Celestia, and I've already forgiven her. So how about doing the generous thing, an element of generosity, and forgiving her too?
That's not a dog's whistle to get me to do what you want, Rarity said sharply. She then looked at me. She backed with me. It hurt, but not nearly as much as it should have. She was holding back. That wasn't for what you did while brainwashed my Discord. That was for delaying so long and telling us that I want you to remember. You could have gotten myself and Pinky killed with your deception. Now you will stop this nonsense about feeling guilty over something that wasn't your fault. That's just it. I lost my connection to my element until Twilight Spell made me relive all the times I had been true to you guys. Betrayal isn't betrayal unless it's your own choice, right? That means no matter what Discord did to me, it must have been my choice. Twilight just stood back trying to process everything she was seeing. Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie stepped back. AJ stood by my side. Rarity was not letting up. Will you stop being so arrogant that you think you're one Discord state didn't affect? That's just it. I think about it. Yeah, I know it's not easy for me to go ahead and joke. I go over it again and again. And I have either betray you guys, Equestria and the Princess, or betray my family, my home, and my people. I give up my dreams of being a Wonder Ball and some pony. Any pony can give me an answer. Twilight spoke using a reason at me like it was a sword. If there's nothing you could have done differently, then why are you beating yourself up over it? Because we're the good guys! We're supposed to always win without having to make any sacrifices. That's what we do! To the moon! I cursed. AJ whispered, No, Rainbow, that's what them heroes in storybooks do. Ponies like us, we have to make choices so no pony else has to. But I'm loyalty, guys! Or I am supposed to be. Give me a way out!
You're also a freaking fresh in blood mare!
AJ snapped. I took a few steps away from her, stunned. AJ wasn't done.
I told you before Discord would have you made you regret no matter what choice you made.
Well, what about the next time? Or the time after that? Or a time after that? I could have jumped differently than any pony? And why did the element choose me? Or was I available after the rest of you? My heart was pounding. My head hurt. My mouth was dry. My wings were rigid. And the world was blurry. I wish I'd never won year's best young flyer. At least the cloud seal would stay just so where I happened to be from. With you and Gilda, it was easy. After I saw she was the worst jerk with feathers that I used to be. What's the point of being loyal to others if you're going to have to end up betraying one for the other? Your brains, Twilight. Tell me. There are no easy answers, Rainbows. That's called life. I had my nose rubbed in it 100 times no matter how hard I plan. Sometimes I didn't think of can go wrong. Every choice is different. But what was I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What I'm going to do? If no matter what happens I betray someone, how can I stay loyal to anyone? My throat tightened so I couldn't breathe. Everything was contradictions. I was trapped. I want out! Rainbow, you're thinking in circles, Twilight shouted. Rainbow, your colors, Fluttershy whispered in horror. I didn't care what she meant. I didn't care what any of them meant. I wanted an answer. Any answer. Just tell me something I can hold on to, darn it! In the confusion clear. I understand. What good are you? And what good am I? If any pony could have done better in Discord's trap, then why should I be loyal at all? I snarled. I felt like my insides were on fire, followed by a feeling of dry ice. The world's color began to darken. The images I saw twisted about. A brainiac who was loyal to his studies until she betrayed them for her friends. An earth pony who betrayed her pride when her body betrayed her. A pink party animal who now betrayed who had she been for who she was. A white marshmallow who betrayed her business sense for her element. and the yellow flower willing to betray who she was, it meant helping me along. There was no loyalty without betrayal! Forget it. I don't need advice on loyalty for a Pegasus that doesn't give a crap about Cloudsdale. A unicorn at St. Canterlot burned before I admitted it was her roots. And another pretend her parents don't exist. A pink idiot who abandoned a real feeling, an orange idiot to embody honesty, except when it's not convenient for her. None of you knows a bucking thing about loyalty. The world turned a shade of gray and tinted red. I let out a sound that wasn't quite like a pony. It felt good! I saw out the corner of my eye my wing turned black and twisted about, becoming larger, like black smoke. I barely noticed in the reflective surface that my eyes had lost their centers, becoming blank white as my teeth twisted into something sharp. Is she like you? Fluttershy said to herself. Then her eyes narrowed. No, this isn't from the old man. I can smell it. It's coming from her. I had no clue what she was blabbing about. No one tried asking her what she meant. Everyone's attention was on me. Well, that's what I always wanted, right? I snarled again and dive-bombed the twilight. I made her shut up along with her useless answers. What did she know about me? What did anyone know about me? Since when did anyone understand me? Stupid unicorn cheated and teleported out of my way. AJ ran from the side and sent me spinning in the air, knocking candy junk and the table over. Sure can't stop. You're burying yourself. This what are you in the world? I held and flew tightly around her, rammed into her behind, knocking her to her knees. Is this what I felt different when I used a memory spell on her? AJ asked herself. Like I cared. Like I cared what anyone thought of me. I was me, myself, a solitary ego. And it was more awesome than any of these lamers put together. I made them see what loyalty was. Rainbow, just stop! Rarity shouted as cloth drapes from around the room tried to tie me down. Not this time. I spin around them, pulling for Rarity's control. Just let it go, Dashie! Fluttershy shouted. Were any of them going to take this fight seriously? Fine. We'll do it your way. She didn't sound like she was talking to me. She looked at me head first before her reins the last moment to turn her headbutt into a tackle me around my rear legs and her front hooves. But on my terms. I tried to kick her away, but our group was like a vice. If I could drag another pony and unicorn along for a ride, and what was another Pegasus? Wait, where was... Surprise! Pinkie Pie in the blink of an eye was right behind me, and she hugged me. Huh? Fluttershy snarled at me. If you choose not to keep wandering the maze, or to go save your little homestead and just sat there, the old man would have said you quit the game anyway and ended the game right then and there and told you I betrayed both genius. Huh? Was that really Fluttershy? Who said that? Confusion shook me, and I noticed there was no force behind Pinkie Pie's hug. It was gentle, warm, comforting. A cool spring rays that doused with flames and a warm summer wind that blew away the cold. I fluttered down. The colors of the world began to right themselves, though a mist of gray remained. I looked at myself in Sugar Cube Corner's polished floor. I saw a gray-tinted rainbow-colored filly of a Pegasus mare who just wanted to know what she was supposed to do. Who just wanted to understand what she meant to do. No monster, no creature of darkness, no twisted thing that knew only how to betray. Has it even been real? Now you just listen to Auntie Pinkie Pie, he said in the strange motherly tone I thought only Fluttershy could manage. I'm going to tell you a bedtime story, and I want you to listen really good. Understand? She nodded numbly. Once upon a time, there was a donkey in the barn with 2 piles of hay. The donkey was the same distance in the 2 piles, and the 2 piles were exactly the same size. The taste is just as good, and they were just as nice. The donkey was hungry and wanted to eat them, except he couldn't decide on which one to start with because they were exactly the same. So the donkey tried to figure out which one to eat first, but couldn't figure out which one was supposed to eat first, unable to choose between them, so it starved. I swore I saw AJ blush out of the corner of my eye. Then the donkey never realized that by not making the decision which pile of hay to eat first, it was failing to make the choice to eat at all. So it was making a choice to starve. So I ended up not having either. By not making the choice, you're still making the choice not to make it. and it caused the donkey by not making a choice. The donkey was too stubborn and proud to realize that. It was a silly donkey it was, wasn't it? Yeah. For the first time in my life, I no longer felt ashamed to cry. What stupid, stubborn donkey! I turned and hugged Pinkie Pie with a tear in my eyes, and I laughed. Pinkie Pie began laughing too, while by Fluttershy, Rarity, Twilight just politely chuckled when AJ sniggered. I felt the spring rain again, this time washing away the grim, the warm summer wind, this time tickling me on the inside, and the world was in bright colors once again, brighter somehow. So I really have a little selection of metaphors, so sue me. Does that look like a poetry book on my butt to you? Twilight, being the brain queen, had to have her say, of course. Rainbow, as long as you're loyal to more than one thing, they will conflict. And there will be times when will be ponies you love equally. But that doesn't make them less important. And Dashy, said Fluttershy, kind as always. Ponies who weren't loyal would never feel bad about having to betray one pony to save another. The fact you do and don't want the same thing to happen again proves your loyalty. Is that really Pinkie Pie? Rarity whispered to AJ, thinking no one could hear her. Are you really, Rarity? AJ said, simply not hiding bad emotions in her voice. What's that supposed to be? Just saying. Think Pig is the one who's chained, misgiven, free, and suing selling lessons to spoil fillies who don't have a mom. How did you... Does it actually matter? The point is, Shirtue, we've all been changing. We just saw it happen to Piggy all at once. Twilight would later tell me that she had noticed the same thing. And now that I think about it, I did too. All of us did. But none of us talked about it much other than Rarity. I guess it felt natural. I guess Twilight was a little scared about it, reminded her of us acting different when discourse grew with us. But I think she felt this wasn't a bad change. We spent an hour or two just talking about this and that, just talking. We told jokes, we chatted about little nothings, we gossiped about ponies who were recovering along with us. We felt happy about those who were proving stronger than Discord's scars, and lousy with those who were still struggling. Rarity even chatted about she and Sweetie were distinct descendants of the legendary mythical hippocampsi. I personally didn't believe her. The Kinks didn't say a word about my episode. No way they didn't overhear it. I don't think that they blocked it out or were trying to just be polite. I actually asked for some paper and pencil. I don't write all that often, but I realized this was a letter that needs to be written. My friends were shocked when they learned who I was writing to, but I told them this was something I had to do. I remembered the tale of the loyal samurai pony who stayed true to his master even though his master was bad because his master had no one else who could be there for him. Gilda, if you're ever willing to accept my other friends instead of ditching them, I know that we can still be friends too. We had plenty of good times, so I want to think they meant something to you like they do to me. Waiting for you too, Rainbow Dash. So I'm not a master written word again, not my cutie mark. I figured it was best to keep it short anyway. Rarity said, should include and accept every other pony in Ponyville. Baby steps, Rarity. Baby steps, Fluttershy cooed, showing a weird hint of vanity when she glanced in the mirror. So yeah, I finally forgave myself. Big whoop. I should have done this way back when I helped Scootaloo. I'm not the world's most clever Pegasus. Yeah, finally could irony. Don't rub it in. Scootaloo was saying how she was a runaway and always did. I wonder what her parents are. Hold on. Hey, Rarity? Applejack? You ever met Scootaloo's parents? Not really. She just comes over our place. She never talks about them, Luigi said casually. Now you mention him, I never met them either, Rarity said. She gave me a note once about them, agreeing that Scootaloo sleep in the order on occasion. I can't say I met them face to face. I hugged each of my friends in turn, lost count, and hugged Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie twice on accident and zoomed out. Classes were still on again and off again, with the teachers needing as much professional help as the kids. I managed to track down Miss Cheerily. Well, no! I I never met Scootaloo's parents. They were dreadfully sick on parent-teacher night, so we had to do correspondence and they usually out of town. What about when Scootaloo enrolled? She just provided a letter from her father about her beginning in attendance. Why, is something wrong? No, nothing. I'm just curious about my #1 fan. Thanks a million. Gotta fly. I had a good idea of where I'd find her, and she was a key in Market City Clubhouse, although even though there was no meeting in attendance. Hey, Squirt! I grinned and waved a hoof as I got inside the front door. Dash! She fluttered her tiny wings and hugged me. Hey, kiddo. Want to help me with a prank in my place? I need someone to do the grunt work, and you seem eager to please. Absolutely, Rainbow Dash! She said, practically jumping out of her skin in excitement. She just had enough self-control not to fall off as I took her to my place. So what do you need me to do? She asked, easily to prove herself in any way she could. Well, just help me write some fake letters to some of my friends. You can handle something like that? I saw her twitch for a moment before saying, sure, I bet I can give it a try. I led her to the table and took out some letters from friends, how in your own way and not falling through the clouds. I gave her some blank paper and a pencil. Okay, let's see how good you are first. You can copy Fluttershy's mouth writing? You bet! Scootaloo didn't even hesitate as she carefully examined Fluttershy's mouth writing and copied it down the little quiver she wrote her wise. Next, I offered some of AJ's written receipts. Okay, now show me Applejack. She was able to copy it even easier than Fluttershy's. Okay, now try this. It's Twilight Sparkle's whole magic writing. Let's see you handle that. Scootaloo looked daunted, but she didn't give up, and with all the precision and care of a safecracker, began to slowly copy Twilight's elegant penmanship. Okay, now even I was impressed. I almost forgot the most important one. I said quickly, okay, think fast. Show me your dad's mouth writing. Scootaloo responded automatically. She wrote down a completely different style than she normally used. That's great! You must have lots of practice at this. Yeah, lots. When Applejack began asking why I was in school and she caught herself. Too late. Got her. How long have you been without a family, Pipsqueak? I asked in a rather serious tone. Scootaloo looked cornered. She tried to leave, not escape, but still made tracks. I blocked off her exit. They fully lowered her head. Since before I met Sweetie, they said they were going for something. For me to wait right where I was. They said for me not to feel bad about accepting anything nice people gave me, but to be careful about going with them. I kept waiting, then I ran away from that spot. Who else knows? Nobody. Let me guess. Sleep in the clubhouse, right? Beats sleeping under Luna's stars. You know there are adults who wouldn't be very happy about a little filly living on her own. I know, but I don't want to be put in care of some ponies I don't even know or be taken back to Cloudsdale. I want to be with you, without Bloom and Sweetie. I just looked at her. Then went to her room and used to store my junk and began to toss it out into the hallway. Dash? The half-bite asked. I didn't answer her. I kept throwing my collection of junk out. There was not space to trot, and began to remold the floor clouds into something that resembled a mattress. The Squirt was even more unsure, maybe a little scared. Finally, slightly satisfied with my work, I said, a secret shared is a secret kept, Scoots. If anyone asks, your parents are letting you live with me as an apprentice. Got it? Apprentice? That's what you're going to tell them. Got it? Got it! She shifted her legs together. Now, come on. Let's get your junk moved from the clubhouse to here. I'm sure your friends will enjoy the extra room. Right. Then I changed tactics. So how did things go when you told your friends? They... Scoots breathed out. You did tell them, right? I glared at her. I told them right after I left you! First Applewoman and then Sweetie. Miss Rarity Bell wasn't happy about the interruption. Rarity's surname was Bell? Okay, made sense. Moving on. You're a lot braver than me, kiddo. A whole lot braver. Braver than you? That's impossible. You'll be surprised, kiddo. So tell me what happened. They said there was nothing to be angry about. They figured at least the way I did it, I might have run into some help. They said they weren't mad or anything. I laughed and messed up her mane. See, kiddo? Nothing to worry about. The longer you keep things bottled up, the worse they get. Ugh, gag me. At least none of the others were here to hear me say that. Right, Rainbow Dash, you're the smartest pony ever. I didn't try to contradict her this time. She needed something to believe in, too. I hugged her. She hugged back. You know, right about now it hits me what I've done. I've taken on responsibility for a filly I only considered convenience or an annoyance before. I'm pretty sure I just trapped myself. But you know what? If this is being trapped, then by being trapped is how I'm finally free. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story so far. Wow, it's like over an hour long. So, I hope you enjoyed my adventures. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button and click subscribe. It would mean so much to Agent Fluffy. The great and powerful Trixie is here! Oh, Trixie? What are you doing here? I am here to present my story. The great and powerful Trixie would like to get a story situated. Next, the great and powerful Trixie's adventures in Reharmonized Trixie, Turret number 13, or whatever you call it.
Well, this has been Agent Fluffy, and I'll see you guys in the next fanfic read. See ya!
She been for who she was. A white marshmallow who betrayed her business sense for her element. And a yellow flower willing to betray who she was, it meant helping me along. There was no loyalty without betrayal! Forget it. I don't need advice on loyalty for a Pegasus that doesn't give a crap about Cloudsdale. A unicorn said Camelot burned before I admitted it was her roots. And none of her pretender parents don't exist. A pink idiot who abandoned a real feeling, an orange idiot to embody honesty, except when it's not convenient for her. None of you knows a bucking thing about loyalty. The world turned shaded gray and tinted red. I let out a sound that wasn't quite like a pony. It felt good. I saw out the corner of my eye my wing turned black and twisted about, becoming larger, like black smoke. I barely noticed in the reflected surface that my eyes had lost their centers, becoming blank white as my teeth twisted into something sharp. Is she like you? Fluttershy said to herself. Then her eyes narrowed. No, this isn't from the old man. I can smell it. It's coming from her. I had no clue what she was blabbing about. No one tried asking her what she meant. Everyone's attention was on me. Well, that's what I always wanted, right? I snarled again and dive-bombed the twilight. I made her shut up along with her useless answers. What did she know about me? What did anyone know about me? Since when did anyone understand me? Stupid unicorn cheated and teleported out of my way. AJ ran from the side and sent me spinning in the air, knocking candy junk and the table over. Sure, Cube, stop! You're burying yourself. Just what are you in it all? I held and flew tightly around her, rammed into her from behind, knocking her to her knees. Is this what I felt different when I used a memory spell on her? AJ asked herself. Like I cared. Like I cared what anyone thought of me. I was me, myself, a solitary ego. And it was more awesome than any of these lamers put together. I made them see what loyalty was. Rainbow, just stop! Rarity shouted as cloth drapes from around the room tried to tie me down. Not this time. I spin around them, pulling for Rarity's control. Just let it go, Dashie! Fluttershy shouted. Were any of them going to take this fight seriously? Fine. We'll do it your way. She didn't sound like she was talking to me. She looked at me head first before her reins the last moment turning her head butt into a tackle me around my rear legs and her front hooves. But on my terms. I tried to kick her away, but our groove was like a vice. If I could drag another pony and unicorn along for a ride, and what was another Pegasus? Wait, where was... Surprise! Pinkie Pie in the blink of an eye was right behind me, and she hugged me. Huh? Fluttershy snarled at me. If you choose not to keep wandering the maze, or to go save your little homestead and just sat there, the old man would have said you quit the game anyway and ended the game right then and there and told you I betrayed both genius. Huh? Was that really Fluttershy? Who said that? Confusion shook me, and I noticed there was no force behind Pinkie Pie's hug. It was gentle, warm, comforting. A cool spring rays that doused with flames and a warm summer wind that blew away the cold. I fluttered down. The colors of the world began to right themselves, though a mist of gray remained. I looked at myself in Sugar Cube Corner's polished floor. I saw a gray-tinted rainbow-colored fillet of a Pegasus mare just wanted to know what she was supposed to do. Who just wanted to understand what she meant to do. No monster, no creature of darkness, no twisted thing that knew only how to betray. Has it even been real? Now you just listen to Auntie Pinkie Pie, he said in the strange motherly tone I thought only Fluttershy could manage. I'm going to tell you a bedtime story, and I want you to listen really good. Understand? She nodded numbly. Once upon a time, there was a donkey in the barn with 2 piles of hay. The donkey was the same distance in the 2 piles, and the 2 piles were exactly the same size. It tasted just as good, and they were just as nice. The donkey was hungry and wanted to eat them, except he couldn't decide on which one to start with because they were exactly the same. So the donkey tried to figure out which one to eat first, but couldn't figure out which one was supposed to eat first, unable to choose between them, so it starved. I swore I saw AJ blush out of the corner of my eye. Then the donkey never realized that by not making the decision which pile of hay to eat first, it was failing to make the choice to eat at all. So it was making a choice to starve. So it ended up not having either. By not making the choice, we're still making the choice not to make it. And it caused the donkey by not making the choice. The donkey was too stubborn and proud to realize that. And what a silly donkey it was, wasn't it? Yeah. For the first time in my life, I no longer feel ashamed to cry. What stupid, stubborn donkey! I turned and hugged Pinkie Pie with a tear in my eyes, and I laughed. Pinkie Pie began laughing too, all the way Fluttershy, Rarity, Twilight just politely chuckled when AJ sniggered. I felt the spring rain again, this time washing away the grim, the warm summer wind, this time tickling me on the inside, and the world was in bright colors once again, brighter somehow. So I really have a little selection of metaphors, so sue me. Does that look like a poetry book on my butt to you? Twilight, bring the Brain Queen, had to have her say, of course. Rainbow, as long as you're loyal to more than one thing, they will conflict. And there will be times when we'll be opponents you love equally. But that doesn't make them less important. And Dashy, said Fluttershy, kind as always. Ponies who weren't loyal would never feel bad about having to betray one pony to save another. The fact you do and don't want the same thing to happen again proves your loyalty. Is that really Pinkie Pie? Rarity whispered to AJ, thinking no one could hear her. Are you really, Rarity? AJ said, simply not a hint of bad emotions in her voice. What's that supposed to be? Just saying. Think Pig is a one who's chain, misgiven, free, and suing selling lessons to spoil fillies who don't have a mom. How did you... Does it actually matter? The point is, Sugar Cube, we've all been changing. We just saw it happen to Piggy all at once. Twilight would later tell me that she had noticed the same thing. And now that I think about it, I did too. All of us did. But none of us talked about it much other than Rarity. I guess it felt natural. I guess Twilight was a little scared about it, reminded her of us acting different when discourse grew with us. But I think she felt this wasn't a bad change. We spent an hour or two just talking about this and that. Just talking. We told jokes, we chatted about little nothings, we gossiped about ponies who were recovering along with us. We felt happy about those who were proving stronger than Discord's scars, and lousy with those who were still struggling. Rarity even chatted about she and Sweetie were distinct descendants of the legendary mythical Hippocampsi. I personally didn't believe her. The Kinks didn't say a word about my episode. No way they didn't overhear it. I don't think that they blocked it out or were trying to just be polite. I actually asked for some paper and pencil. I don't write all that often, but I realized this was a letter that needs to be written. My friends were shocked when they learned who I was writing to, but I told them this was something I had to do. I remembered the tale of the loyal samurai pony, who stayed true to his master even though his master was bad, because his master had no one else who could be there for him. Gilda, if you're ever willing to accept my other friends instead of ditching them, I know that we can still be friends too. We had plenty of good times, so I want to think they meant something to you like they do to me. Waiting for you too, Rainbow Dash. So I'm not a master of written word again, not my cutie mark. I figured it was best to keep it short anyway. Rarity said, should have included and accept every other pony in Ponyville. Baby steps, Rarity. Baby steps, Fluttershy cooed, showing a weird hint of vanity when she glanced in the mirror. So yeah, I finally forgave myself. Big whoop. I should have done this way back when I helped Scootaloo. I'm not the world's most clever Pegasus. Yeah, I finally could irony. Don't rub it in. Scootaloo was saying how she was a runaway and always did. I wonder what her parents are. Hold on. Hey, Rarity? Applejack? You ever met Scootaloo's parents?
Not really. She just comes over our place. She never talks about them,
Luigi said casually. Now you mention him. I never met them either, Rarity said. She gave me notes once about them, agreeing that Scootaloo should be older on occasion. I can't say I met them face to face. I hugged each of my friends in turn, lost count, and hugged Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie twice on accident and zoomed out. Classes were still on again and off again, with the teachers needing as much professional help as the kids. I managed to track down Miss Cheerily. Well, no! I never met Scootaloo's parents. They were dreadfully sick on parent-teacher night, so we had to do correspondence and they usually out of town. What about when Scootaloo enrolled? She just provided a letter from her father about her beginning attendance. Why, is something wrong? No, nothing. I'm just curious about my #1 fan. Thanks a million. Gotta fly. I had a good idea of where I'd find her, and she was a key to Marker City Clubhouse, although even though there was no meeting in attendance. Hey, Squirt! I grinned and waved a hoof as I got inside the front door. Dash! She fluttered her tiny wings and hugged me. Hey, kiddo. Want to help me with a prank in my place? I need someone to do the grunt work, and you seem eager to please. Absolutely, Rainbow Dash! She said, practically jumping out of her skin in excitement. She just had enough self-control not to fall off as I took her to my place. So what do you need me to do? She asked, easily to prove herself in any way she could. Oh, just help me write some fake letters to some of my friends. You can handle something like that? I saw her twitch for a moment before saying, sure, I bet I can give it a try. I led her to the table and took out some letters from friends, having their own way of not falling through the clouds. I gave her some blank paper and a pencil. Okay, let's see how good you are first. You can copy Fluttershy's mouth writing? You bet! Scootaloo didn't even hesitate as she carefully examined Fluttershy's mouth writing and copied it down the little quiver she wrote her wise. Next, I offered some of AJ's written receipts. Okay, now show me Applejack. She was able to copy it even easier than Fluttershy's. Okay, now try this. It's Twilight Sparkle's whole magic writing. Let's see you handle that. Scootaloo looked daunted, but she didn't give up, and with all the precision and care of a safe cracker, began to slowly copy Twilight's elegant penmanship. Okay, now even I was impressed. I almost forgot the most important one. I said quickly, okay, think fast. Show me your dad's mouth writing. Scootaloo responded automatically. She wrote down a completely different style than she normally used. That's great! You must have lots of practice at this. Yeah, lots. When Apple began asking why I was in school and she caught herself. Too late. Got her. How long have you been without a family, Pipsqueak? I asked in a rather serious tone. Scootaloo looks cornered. She tried to leave, not escape, but still made tracks. I blocked off her exit. They fully lowered her head. Since before I met Sweetie, they said they were going for something. For me to wait right where I was. They said for me not to feel bad about accepting anything nice people gave me, but to be careful about going with them. I kept waiting, then ran away from that spot. Who else knows? Nobody. Let me guess. Sleep in the clubhouse, right? Beats sleeping under lunar stars. You know there are adults who wouldn't be very happy about a little filly living on her own. I know, but I don't want to be put in care of some ponies I don't even know or be taken back to Cloudsdale. I want to be with you, without Bloom and Sweetie. I just looked at her. Then went to her room and used to store my junk and began to toss it out into the hallway. Dash? The half-bite asked. I didn't answer her. I kept throwing my collection of junk out. There was not space to trot, and again a rainbow of floor clouds into something that resembled a mattress. The squirt was even more unsure.
maybe a little scared. Finally, slightly satisfied with my work, I said, "A secret shared is a secret kept, Scoots. If anyone asks, your parents are letting you live with me as an apprentice. Got it?" Apprentice? That's what you're going to tell them. Got it? Got it! She shifted her legs together. "Now, come on. Let's get your junk moved from the clubhouse to here. I'm sure your friends will enjoy the extra room." Right. Then I changed tactics. "So how did things go when you told your friends?" "They..." Scoots breathed out. "You did tell them, right?" I glared at her. "I told them right after I left you! First album, then sweetie. Miss Rarity Bell wasn't happy about the interruption." Rarity's surname was Bell? Okay, made sense. Moving on. "You're a lot braver than me, kiddo. A whole lot braver." "Braver than you? That's impossible." "You'll be surprised, kiddo. So tell me what happened." "They said there was nothing to be angry about. They figured at least the way I did it, I might have run into some help. They said they weren't mad or anything." I laughed and messed up her mane. "See, kiddo? Nothing to worry about. The longer you keep things bottled up, the worse they get." Ugh, gag me. At least none of the others were here to hear me say that. "Right, Rainbow Dash, you're the smartest pony ever." I didn't try to contradict her this time. She needed something to believe in, too. I hugged her. She hugged back. You know, right about now it hits me what I've done. I've taken on responsibility for Philly I only considered convenience or an annoyance before. I'm pretty sure I just trapped myself. But you know what? If this is being trapped, then by being trapped is how I'm finally free. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story so far. Wow, it's like over an hour long. So, I hope you enjoyed my adventures. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button and click subscribe. It would mean so much to Agent Fluffy. The great and powerful Trixie is here! Oh, Trixie? What are you doing here? I am here to present my story. The great and powerful Trixie would like to get a story situated. Next, the great and powerful Trixie's adventures in Reharmonized Trixie, Turret number 13, or whatever you call it. Well, this has been Agent Fluffy, and I'll see you guys in the next fanfic read. See ya! Dash? The half-bite asked. I didn't answer her. I kept throwing my collection of junk out. There was no space to trot and get a rainbow to flower.